Corner. I'm Hank Jr. Today I have a very special guest. She is a North Carolina native, a three-time Carolina Country Music Awards winner for Female Vocalist of the Year. Please welcome Paige King Johnson. Paige, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm glad to have you on the show. I've been following you for quite a while because I just love your I like to call it the good old country sound that you have. Also, I must confess, lately I've been listening to several times your version of Santa Train.
It's Christmas time and I can't wait. Mama, hurry, don't be late. Let's go down to the railroad track. Santa train is coming back. Ooh, ooh, here it comes. Ooh, ooh, Santa train. Ooh, ooh, get on board. Ooh, ooh, Santa train.
You're one of those people.
And it's been putting me in the mood for Christmas. So are you getting ready for Christmas? Is it too early for you or
I am. So my two favorite holidays are Thanksgiving and Christmas. So I very much so give Thanksgiving its time. I let the turkey settle. Our family has always been that way before we get our Christmas decorations out.
Okay, and we're the same way here at our family. We actually don't put up the Christmas tree until either Thanksgiving or the day after that. But I don't mind listening to a little Christmas music beforehand.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, we won't tell anybody.
so, do you have any particular foods or anything that you it's a must have for Thanksgiving?
Our family has a couple. My mom's dish that she has to make is a sweet potato casserole. My hometown here in North Carolina, where, in North Carolina in general, is the sweet potato capital of the world. And so, any way that you can make a sweet potato, we figured it out. And casserole is pretty ding dang good.
Mm.
And then I am the person in charge of making what we call an apple dapple cake, which is like kind of like a spice pound cake, and then there's apples and pecans in it, and then you make a cream cheese frosting that goes on top.
Mm,
And
that sounds good.
it came from my home church's cookbook that they put out a few years ago. So it's good when it comes from a local, Southern church cookbook out of out of there.
That definitely sounds good. So, my favorite dessert is pecan pie. Being close to Georgia, but also growing up in Texas, pecan pie is the thing. And I don't know if I'm saying it right. Some people say pecan. Pecan. How do you say it?
We say pecans.
Pecan. Okay. Now you mentioned church, and of course Christmas. There's a reason for that season. But I noticed on your social media stories, a lot of times you will post things related to your faith. Um, is your faith something that's big with you, and does it kind of guide you in the decisions that you make, whether in everyday life or your music industry?
Absolutely, 100%. I know for a fact that I would not be able to do my job if it weren't for, God giving me the gift of being able to play music and to write music and to sing. And there's been a lot of some sketchy times on the road. I think every artist endures, and there's been multiple times where I'm thinking, okay, God, I hope you're watching out for me and looking out for me. And the music industry, like any industry, um, it can knock you down a lot of times, and it can knock the wind out of you and try to, kill your spirit and your drive for things. And so, I most definitely have to lean on my faith, and be a believer every single day. And I'm grateful that I have a job that I can do that, and I have opportunities to weave in my testimony, my story, whether it's with fans and friends that I'm talking with, or whether it's while I'm writing songs that day and then playing them out later. I'm grateful that I do have a platform that I can share my faith on.
Yeah, and that's awesome, because a lot of people get the platform and sometimes kind of forget where they come from or, kind of that saying that if you don't stand for anything, you'll fall for anything. So I'm glad that you're taking that stand and sharing your faith. And do you find that it's hard, being part of the music industry? Anytime you're in the entertainment business, there's a worldly way of doing things. Do you find that it's hard to keep to that faith because of that?
I mean, you're definitely tested every single day, and I'm not naive enough to think that it's just in the music industry. Obviously, each of us, the devil's in all kinds of forms, right? And so there's all kinds of tests for me every day, coming from all different kinds of directions. And I think that that's when your faith is put to the test. And, you have choices every single day to be able to honor God or whether to kind of, fall on the wayside. And so some days I am more more successful than others, but
Aren't we all?
I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for it.
That's good. Now, do you do any type of gospel singing as well? Do you have a favorite gospel song that you like to sing?
Oh gosh, the whole this is my country coming out of me. The whole Alan Jackson "Precious Memories" album is like
Mm,
one of those go-tos. Because I grew up in a good country church, and so all those hymns are just like part of me. And I loved that whole album, and I go back to it all the time, and re-listen to the songs because it's got the good mix of all those hymns and all the country side of things too. So it's a novel and a staple for sure.
pretty cool. Yeah, definitely like that album. So, you have a recent song out, "Baby Don't." It's doing very well. You have a official lyric video that's already reached 63,000 plus views in just 3 weeks. So, how do you feel about that? Just seems like it's taken off.
It's crazy. It's every time I release a song, I always try to like hold everything together, and I don't get my hopes and my expectations up. But I'm always hopeful that the song will connect with people and it'll be something that they enjoy hearing and that they keep going back to listen to. And so I'm grateful every time I release a song for anybody to listen. But to see those numbers come in over just the past 3 or 4 weeks has been really incredible. And I'm just so grateful for it. And it keeps validating that I'm doing the right thing and that I'm on the right track and that I'm making music that matters to people.
Definitely. Tell us a little bit about how the song came about.
So Baby Don't is actually the first single that I've ever recorded and released that I was not a part of in writing. This song was written by three of my heroes in country music songwriting, Miss Lori McKenna and Liz Rose and Hillary Lindsay. And it was actually sent to me by my hero and friend, Miss Pam Tillis. I've been working with her over the past year or so on music, and just she's been a mentor in life and everything else, and it's been amazing. And she knew that I was working on new music this past summer and kind of working towards releasing some new stuff. And she came across this song and immediately called me and she goes, "Paige, I just heard this song and I just sent it to you. It sounds exactly like you. And if you don't record it, you're crazy." And I'm thinking, okay, if Miss Pam Tillis is telling me this, maybe I should be listening to it. So
Yes, you definitely have to do it if Miss Pam Tillis tells you. Now I know you put your own
fell in
flavor.
love.
Now I know you put your own flavor to that song, and I could definitely hear you in it. But I do hear a little bit of a hint of Pam Tillis in it as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was intentional or just because you've been mentored by her. But I definitely hear a little bit of that in there.
Well, that is an absolute honor. And it's been really fun to have her on my team and get to know her on a deeper level and have her kind of swinging for me and helping me out in a lot of ways that I never would have expected at this level of my career.
Yeah, she's definitely a sweet lady. Would you be willing to sing the song for us here today?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
Don't, baby, don't pull the cork from the bottle if you don't wanna talk, wanna kiss, wanna find out, baby, what it is, what's going on. through all the chemistry between me and you. Baby, don't let me linger any longer if you don't want me to fall like a domino, like a sunset sinking down in Mexico, like a drop of rain when the thunder rolls, like a cowboy riding in a rodeo. Baby, don't look at me that way, baby. If you don't want me to stop, want me to stare, don't you lean in closer, it ain't fair. Baby, don't. No, baby, if you don't want me to fall like a domino, like a sunset sinking down in Mexico, like a drop of rain when the thunder rolls, like a cowboy riding in a rodeo. Baby, don't. Yeah, oh no, baby, don't. Don't you do it. Don't smile at me, don't move that way, don't trip me up with the words you say, don't pour the wine, turn the lights down low, don't, baby, don't, if you don't want me to fall like a domino, like a sunset sinking down in Mexico, like a drop of rain, the thunder rolls, like a cowboy riding in a rodeo. Want me to fall, domino, like a sunset sinking down in Mexico, like a drop of rain, when the thunder rolls, like a cowboy riding in a rodeo. Baby, don't. Oh no, baby, don't. Yeah, oh no, baby, don't. Yeah. No, baby, don't. Baby, don't.
And you just heard Paige King Johnson singing her latest single, Baby Don't, here on Hank's Corner. Hank Jr. Like I said, we heard that this song's doing really well. Any plans for a video to come out as well?
We do have a video for it. I can talk about it. We have a video that we recorded back early in the fall, and Miss Pam Tillis was the director for this video as well with me. And we had a lot of fun recording it. So we are hoping to get it out very, very soon. Hopefully later this fall or early on next year. So it's all about the secrets in the music industry, right?
Okay, yes, definitely. We're definitely looking forward to that. So now you grew up on a farm in North Carolina, correct?
Yes.
How was that like, or how was that like for you?
At the time, whenever I was growing up, I did not appreciate it as much as I do now, which that's the story for everything, right? When you're a kid, you never
Sure.
appreciate it. But I grew up showing horses and riding horses and showing sheep and showing rabbits, and we had cows. And so it was a lot of responsibility for me as a kid. And at the time, I didn't realize what all it was doing for me. And the fact that I was living every single country song that was on the radio. But looking back now, I really appreciate all the life lessons that I learned from living on the farm, and the real raw growing up that I did. It definitely shaped me into being a better person. And I think everybody should have to live on a farm at some point in their life.
Well, it definitely does teach a lot of discipline and hard work. And I'm sure some days in the music industry, that's what it takes, is a lot of discipline and hard work. So tell us about your journey from North Carolina to Nashville. How did that go?
Yeah, I moved away from my small town in North Carolina right after I graduated from high school. And it's been about 6+ years ago now, which is crazy to think. And I was scared to death because I was moving from my little 2 stoplight town to this big city, and I had never been away from home really, and never lived away from my parents, and it was so scary. But thankfully, Nashville is such a welcoming place, and I moved out there and went to college at Belmont University. So
Hmm.
I had a good group of people that were also going through the same thing that I was, which helped a lot. And was really able to create a community out there full of not only just people in the music industry, but just really good friends that are still some of my best friends today. And Nashville in itself, it really is. Everybody says it's a big city with a small town feel, and I never believed that going in there. But I quickly realized it, especially within the music industry. You kind of start creating your own little circle full of songwriting friends and people that you play shows with, and it really does start to feel like a small town because you're seeing all the same people all the time and going to the same places, and that was very comforting for me.
Sure. Was there anybody in particular that really gave you a lot of support during that time?
My college freshman year roommate, we were we weren't random roommates. We had chosen each other through Facebook, and she was the person who really gave me confidence in myself as a songwriter and kind of gave me that first push. And she's an amazing songwriter and artist herself. Her name's Allison Mahal. And she's still my best friend and calls me all the time asking me about my music and what's going on with me. And I definitely would not be where I am today as a songwriter if it weren't for her.
That's so cool. And then fast forward, and your first song, I believe, "Water Down the Whiskey," came out and made it to number 29 on the Music Row chart.
I can tell when we go out, your eyes don't stay on me like they used to. And the way your head turned when she ordered straight Jack was a shame. It's been coming on for some time. I'm seeing the signs that you've been sending. But I'm telling you right now, I ain't playing this game. There ain't no use in watering down the whiskey. It's gonna be a heartbreak, so come on, baby, give it to me. Pour it up strong, shoot it on back, chase it down with another one after that. If you're gonna break a heart, go on and do it like it should be. Don't water down the whiskey. Don't water down the whiskey.
Tell me about that.
That was crazy. It was my first release out into the world and my first release to country radio, which was insane. And like I said, that was kind of when I fostered this whole mentality of, don't set any expectations because you don't want to fail yourself, and very much so. I went into it just completely blind and hoping that my mom and my dad would listen to it. But it was really relatable, and I think it was all because it was around a relatable story of a breakup and being in a situation where you just want better for yourself. And that song taught me a lot about myself as an artist, and taught me a lot when I went out on the road and did a radio tour with it, and was really the first launch pad of everything for me. So I'm always so grateful for Water Down the Whiskey.
Now, does your inspiration for your songwriting come from your personal life?
I definitely pull from a mix of places. So um, I am very cautious about putting all of me into every single song. And also, I feel like that limits people to certain narratives. Um, so I pull from all kinds of places, from my personal life, from conversations that I have with family and friends, or just that I overhear in passing. Pull from TV shows and movies that you watch at the time, or books that you're reading. And that's the thing about being a songwriter. You have to be a very emotionally aware person. And so I've learned that over the past few years, and definitely find myself pulling from a lot of different places each time.
Well, it seems to be working for you. So keep doing what you're doing.
I
And
get to have fun that way. I get to go to work every day, and I can be a sad person, or I can be a person that's going to the bar, or I can do whatever.
yes, and it's definitely a great outlet to channel those emotions. So it's a win-win situations.
Yeah.
And you've opened up for some big names like Scotty McCreery, Neil McCoy, and I know you have a December show where you're going to be opening for Kane Brown, correct?
Yes.
So now, when I first started saying that I was going to do the podcasting, my daughters were like, "You need to get Kane Brown on the show," and I said, "Well, I don't know, but I said I would ask you to at least bring it up. Maybe he'll do it, maybe not." But
So,
in general, though, when you get to perform before the stars and get to be near them, do you get any emotions of starstruck, or is it just something that you just pick up what's going on and learn from, or a combination of both?
I think there's a little bit of both. After living in Nashville for the past 6 years, uh, they teach you that you have to become cool when you're around famous people, and that definitely did help me um, humanize a lot of people who are stars. And so when you go to church with them, or you shop at the same grocery store as them, it kind of helps that situation. But there are definitely a few people that if I ever like met them and got to introduce myself, I would most definitely still be starstruck. But for the most part, I think I do a good job of keeping it cool, because I like to think that, I like to put myself on the same playing field and think that we're all kind of working towards the same goals in that sense. But I'm always grateful to be able to open up for bigger artists. I tell people all the time that for me, that's my school. And that's where I get to do all my studying, and I get to learn new tips and tricks, and I get to see how they're putting together shows and putting together set lists, and how they're interacting with crowds, and watching their band, and how they're just all working together. So it's always a really cool time for me when I do get to open up for bigger artists, because I feel like I walk away having learned so much just from that.
And that's awesome that you're always looking to learn. Is there anybody in particular that you would love to open or even perform with that's just like a must and your dream?
A few.
I
A
can see it. I can see it in your eyes.
My number one just idol completely is Miss Loretta Lynn. She has been my top artist for many, many years. And so that would be a dream, especially knowing that she's in her later years of life, to be able to work with her in any capacity whatsoever.
Such a
Um,
legend.
Gosh, I mean, even just to sit down and just like have lunch with her and hear her stories would be amazing. Uh, and also, I just saw George Strait this past weekend
I
in
saw
Atlanta.
that.
So, I mean, who wouldn't love to sing or write with the King, George Strait? That would be another one.
Okay, yeah, definitely big names there. So you're shooting big for that. So
You got to. You got
yeah,
to.
might as well. So you got a couple other good songs that are out there that are also doing well. One of them being "She Holds This House Together."
It's not just the boards and the floors, the hinges on the doors, the nails in the walls that keep this place from falling. It's not just the windows in the rooms, the shingles on the roof, the bricks and stones that give this place its bones. She might deny it, but we all know better. She holds this house together.
A great song that I think is becoming kind of an anthem for Mother's Day. Let's say. Tell me about a little bit about that song.
That song is really special to me. I wrote it with a friend of mine, Mike Astrakin, and we write a lot together. And we wrote this song around Mother's Day of 2020. So I think all of us were in a very emotional state at that point in general. And this song kind of started out as a thank you note to our mothers. It was just a very honest pouring out of appreciation for everything that they had done for us in our lives. And we loved the song when we finished it, but I'm always a person who kind of has to let songs settle and go back to them to see how they hit me and how they've aged over a few months. And so I was getting back into the studio towards the end of last year and was revisiting some songs. And I pulled up She Holds This House Together and was listening to it and immediately just like got teary eyed. And so I sat back and I was thinking, okay, maybe this isn't just a song meant for my mom, but maybe this is a song meant for all women out in the world who have done such a good job of raising kids, whether they were biological moms or aunts or sisters or godmothers, whoever they were. And that this was kind of the beginning of a thank you to them. It's never nearly enough for everything that moms have done and sacrificed for us, but it was this very sweet present that I was able to give to my mom and other women out there in the world. And it ended up giving a lot back to me. I was able to hear all kinds of really cool stories and see some very sweet pictures from people who sent them to me as they were listening to the song and reflecting on their moms that had passed away recently, or whether when they were spending Mother's Day with their moms. It was a really sweet thing to.
Yeah, you're right. These women in our lives, they don't really get thanked enough, and they don't get any. There's no stardom to it. They just do their jobs, and they don't get the thanks they do. And the song, I'm sure you said it made you teary eyed. It's made a lot of other people teary eyed as well. So that's when you've hit it right on the nail. And then also you have Just Like You. The video, am I correct, premiered on CMT?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that was another collab with Pam Tillis, correct?
It was. That was the first project that we ever worked on together.
Okay. Would you be willing to play that one for us as well?
Absolutely, I can. Nice little love song. I tell people all the time whenever they're watching live streams with it, I say, if you're in the kitchen, you can grab your person that you love and dance with them for this one. Ain't it just like a man to forget every birthday and leave you hanging on the line, wondering if he's gonna say I love you? Ain't it just like a man to show up late to the party, expecting you'll be ready to leave on his own soon? But ain't it just like you coming in from a long, hard day, dirty hands wrapping around my waist? Baby, tell me what's happened since I left this morning. And ain't it just like you to be so patient, even when I'm driving you crazy, to know what I want to say before I think of things? Ain't it just like you to love a girl like me? Ain't it just like you to love a girl like me? Ain't it just like me to make a mess of everything, falling apart to see how far you'll go to fix it? And ain't it just like me to ask you to up and leave your job and your mom for a new hometown just 'cause I'm in it? But ain't it just like you coming in from a long, hard day, dirty hands wrapping around my waist? Baby, tell me what's happened since I left this morning. And ain't it just like you to be so patient, even when I'm driving you crazy? Just like you coming in from a long, hard day, dirty hands wrapping around my waist. Baby, tell me what's happened since I left this morning. Just like you to be so patient, even when I'm driving you crazy, to know what I want to say before I think of it. Ain't it just like you to love a girl like me? Ain't it just like you to love a girl like me?
Paige King Johnson, everybody, singing on Hank's Corner. That's such a great song. And wouldn't it be cool? You mentioned, people can just go up to their loved ones in the kitchen and just start dancing. But, wouldn't it be cool if a bunch of people just started sending in a video of them dancing somewhere in their house to that song and sharing that with you? So maybe, maybe that'll start a trend. But
Start a TikTok challenge.
there you go. So I definitely appreciate you coming on the show. Any plans for you coming to Florida by chance?
You know what? That is, so fun fact about me. I'm very much a visual person. So I have on my wall a scratch off map of the United States because I want to see all the places that I have been and I want to see all the places that I need to go. And my goal is to play all 50 states within like the next 5 years. So Florida is not scratched off yet. Anybody out there who has a need for some country music in Florida, let me know.
Well, I know I personally would love for you to come down here. And of course, if you do, with me doing photography and videography, if you ever need any free services to do that, I'll be more than willing to do that. But this is Paige King Johnson, everybody. Please follow her on social media, buy her merch and the songs. You can find her at pagekingjohnson.com. And like I said, I appreciate you coming. You're more than welcome to be a guest anytime.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.